Fintech is a little bit of a misnomer. We are a technology company that happens to be in finance. And so all of our product managers, all of our engineers, everybody is there. We're highly regulated and we take that seriously. But for us, it doesn't matter what the title is. Like, are we serving customers' lives? And if you ask them, many people say, I bank with Robinhood. I do my finances with Robinhood. And that's what we're focused on.
Who's the core customer nowadays?
Yeah, so if you look at our median customer, 35 years old, tend to be widely distributed across the US, tend to be married, educated, 1 to 2 kids, cat or a dog. Like that is our prototypical customer, and they want to use us for all their products. So they typically come in, I want to start my first equities, I want to have a retirement account, I want to get the credit card. Then you discover Robinhood Gold, then they start to use other products. And so when I joined 8 years ago, our average customer was actually 27, 28. Our customers are aging with us, they're getting more wealthy. Now they want to use more and more of our products, and so that's how we're building for them.
Where do you think, because you talked a lot about this on the earnings call, where do you think you're gaining market share from?
A lot of the legacy incumbents, and so for us, as I mentioned, we are a technology company. We can move fast. You can never get complacent, and so our view is you should be at a disadvantage if you're not trading on Robinhood. That's why we're iterating. That's why we're building AI products. That's why we keep coming out with a lot of these newer vectors. And if you do that, a lot of it comes from incumbents. A lot of it's actually new investors as well. So we survey customers, about 50% of them tell us we are their first brokerage app. And so by design, 50% are coming from other places, but 50% are also new to the market. So it's a little bit from all over the place.
The S&P 500 is still, even with the tech semiconductor route, still trading near record highs. What have you seen in terms of, you just mentioned it too a little bit, I think, new investors, those sub 25-year-olds, is that bringing them into the market?
So a lot of our investors, they tend to be techno-optimists. So they tend to invest in technology, they tend to have a long-term view. So anytime you see drawdowns, for example, so in Q2 we saw some volatility, they actually use an opportunity to invest. And so they invest in technology companies, chip companies, AI, energy. They really believe in America's future, and that's where they put their money in. And I think a lot of people think of Robinhood as, hey, it's just a trading account. We actually have a lot of people who put in their retirement accounts or their ETFs. And what we tend to see is they're optimists and they have a long-term view, and so that's what we see a lot of customers start with.
You mentioned America's future. How are the Trump accounts doing since launch?
Oh, it's going fantastic, and so really great partnership with the Treasury, the National Design Studio, BNY. We shared some numbers yesterday, but over 7 million people have already signed up. $1.5 billion of assets have already flew through our system. But the really nice part is we are just getting started. So we're starting to build a great employer portal. If you're an employer like Robinhood, for example, we'll match our employees, so we're building that out. Donations, Michael and Susan Dell gave a massive donation, and so we're building that out. I think this is going to be transformational for the next generation, and this is just V1, but the initial uptake has been really great.
How do you see that, these accounts evolving over time?
Yeah, so they're meant to be low-cost ETFs, buy and hold. You can actually go in the app and simulate what's going to happen in 18 years and 60 years. What we're trying to show is just the benefit of compound interest. If you start early, it's actually really powerful. And then what we hope is it just keeps people to discover investing, whether it's the parents or whether it's the children. And so a lot of the investment has been focused on education. How do you explain the stock market? How do you get to people to start? And then once they get started, it can open up a lot of different doors.
Within those 7 million accounts, those new customers to Robinhood, or those were folks already on the platform?
So these are people who have signed up to use it, either directly in the app or on the IRS website. So we're not including those in our customers today. We are the sole trustee and custodian, so all the assets that come in, we custody. We actually don't include those in our numbers today. So for us, we're starting with, let's build the app, let's make sure it works, and then what you'll see over time is, how do we share it with our KPIs going